Hello, welcome to another episode of Swapping Joysticks. I am your host, Ben Ostwick, otherwise known as Biggest Ben, and joining me, as always,
It's me, Ed Nightingale.
excellent. And we're a little bit different today. If you're watching this on, or if you listen to this on like on your favorite podcast player, then you won't probably be able to see. Well, you won't be able to see any difference.
Because you'll be listening.
Yeah, exactly. You won't be able to
Funny
see
that.
anything. You'll be able to see whatever you are looking at. However, if you are watching on YouTube or wherever you get like the video, I don't know if I think it's only on YouTube, unless somebody.
I don't know, are you putting this anywhere else?
No, but you know,
Oh.
people repurpose things. You might
Let's
see
not promote that.
that we have. Yeah, please do not. No, we need all of that ad revenue that I turn off anyway. I don't get anything. So, but yeah, you'll see that we're using a different camera, and we're just using a one camera this time because we are using. Thank you very much, by the way, to Elgato for sending this, and Elgato Facecam Neo, which I can't show you. I can show you the box, but I can't show you the actual camera because we're using it.
Well, that's what it looks like.
It looks like that, but it's white.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's awesome. And I literally just plugged it in. I didn't even, like, nothing came up. I just plugged it in and then went to my sources to add it, and it was there. So it was literally just like plug it and play. And you're
Nice.
going to be using it now for all your work meetings, aren't you?
Am I? Am I allowed to?
Oh, yeah, of course you can.
Ah, well, it will go with the mic,
Yes,
which
you can't see. Oh, there we go.
just about.
Yeah. Has that been good for you?
It's been very nice, yeah. Again, plugged it in and it just started working. And
Perfect.
I think my streams sound all right.
Yeah, they're all right. Yeah.
Do you even watch them?
Yeah. The quality of the audio is great.
Are you modding? Are you actually doing any modding? Well,
Oh,
the answer's no.
Am I
I
a
know that for
moderator?
sure.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, you just give me that as like some authority, don't you? But anyway, thank you very much to Elgato for sending that. Very, very kind for you too. But yes, I thought
Nice.
we'd do a special like because we did one a few weeks ago with the microphone with
Yep.
the light as well. So now we can do this. But we are here to talk about video games.
That's the light.
Yeah, you can also
reflecting.
you can actually see the light. Yeah, if you are watching this, you can see there's a bit of reflection going on in the TV behind because we haven't got a cover, and I think it's
Ooh.
only like old people that have covers on their TVs.
Who has a cover on
Like
their
a
TV?
dust cover.
Oh no. I mean, you could turn it on and maybe put a picture on it.
Yeah,
We could have
no,
done
I've
that.
tried that before, and it still reflects.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
that's
not
annoying.
HDR. Maybe HDR it would work.
To be fair, this is proof that you literally did just plug in the camera because we changed nothing else in this room.
No.
And we're like, oh, it's a bit messy and it doesn't quite work.
It is very messy. But you can see how clear the quality is as well. You can have a look at everything behind us on the board and on the Kallax. But what have you been up to the last week? Because we did do a podcast last week, didn't we? Yes, we did.
We
I
did.
think we recorded it a bit early. What have you been up to? I'm trying to remember what I've been up to.
We talked a lot about things last time and TwitchCon. But this week has been very quiet.
It has
which
been quite
is
chilled.
nice. I don't know about you, but I am enjoying having a quiet July.
Yes, I was at Develop. Had I been to Develop since?
Oh, that was last week. Yeah.
Yeah. Did we even do a podcast last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it after Develop?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we just didn't talk about it.
Yeah. We went to Develop. It was nice.
It was very brief.
Yeah, I had a nice walk around, chatting to some people who I know, and it's always good to meet your peers and other people in the industry.
Always.
Mm.
Always nice.
Speaking of, next month is Gamescom in Cologne. Köln. And last time they yeeted me up in the air 50 meters to play City Skylines 2,
Of course.
which was
Will you do that again?
absolutely not, never.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did it, but also I hated every second of it.
It's a story you're milking still.
Milking, how dare you?
To be fair, it is very impressive that you did.
Don't you patronize me.
I'm being
But I've
serious.
just got tickets for opening night live,
Oh.
so I'm very excited about that. Being able to go in and
So you can meet Jeff Keighley in
I don't
person.
think there's any meet and greets with it.
Oh, what a
Um,
shame.
It wasn't too expensive, the ticket, but I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to going there and seeing it live, seeing it happen live on the opening night.
Nice.
It's
I'll
called-
be
that's what
working
it's
on a
called.
computer.
Yeah, you're gonna be back at the hotel in the dingy hotel that we've got miles outside of Cologne, and I'll be there in the heart of the action. There'll be Kojima there, I'm sure. Jeff will be there. There'll be Sakaguchi.
If
Everybody's gonna be
Kojima's
there.
there, I mean, firstly, you're going to cream yourself.
Little.
Secondly, I really doubt that you'll get to see him in person.
Why? You think he's short?
Wow.
He's
No, as
saying
in
he's
like,
really
okay,
short.
you might see him on stage. I mean, you're not going to meet him.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to. You never meet your idols. Like my favorite ever artist ever is Anoni and the Johnsons, and from
And
every.
We talked about her last week.
We did, because we went to see her, and I have seen messages about saying that apparently she's not the nicest person. So
don't meet your idols.
that's all I read about. It might be completely untrue, but
And where did you read it? Who was your source?
Twitter.
Oh,
Just a random person on Twitter.
a random on Twitter.
Yeah,
that was a reliable source to you.
Yes. Says the man that spends all the day on Twitter getting his sources.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have to scan through sources and then determine if they are credible or not, and 90% of them are not.
This seemed credible, though.
What, randomer?
Anyway, stop whining. What have you been up to the last week? What have you been up to the last week?
Not a lot, to be honest.
Oh.
Generally, it's been really quiet, and I am happy about that. August is going to be very busy. We've got Gamescom. I've got some other trips as well. So it's going to be a very, very busy month. And therefore, I am looking forward to a nice, quiet July. I say looking forward to, I'm halfway through a nice, quiet July. There's also not very much just generally happening in video game land, which is quite nice. But we'll get to that later.
We will. Well, let's talk about what you've been playing, because it's more interesting what you've been playing than what I've been playing.
Well, I have news.
Oh, that I don't know about?
No, you know about it.
Oh.
But I have news for the viewers and the listeners. I have news. I'm about to start Dawn Trail. At long last.
Oh.
Endwalker is fully finished. I saw credits. And then I played through patch 6.55. So I have met Wooklamat.
Mm-hmm.
And we went on a hunt. And I am ready to go. But me being me, I'm actually not ready because I want to play as a Pictomancer. So now I'm leveling, which is annoying because that's taken a while.
Yeah, tell me about it. I had to be like, hey, can we have dinner tonight? Instead of...
No, I must do another duty.
So I'm queuing for an alliance raid, and it says you're more than 50th in the queue.
Well...
I'd like to eat and do the podcast and go to bed. So
I'd like to go up another level.
Well, there's plenty of time.
It's taking a long time. I think I'm about to be level 83.
Okay.
Which I think is the next job quest for it. And then it's a load of dailies, which is annoying. So, yeah, but I'm really enjoying Picto. It's
You're doing a lot of damage?
I'm doing a lot of damage. I feel like I'm doing more damage than I was as a Reaper, which makes me think I didn't understand Reaper. And I feel like I did.
Probably.
I was getting through it. I was doing a lot of damage. I was hitting the right yellow boxes.
Okay.
As they come up.
I've not played it.
But I feel like I understand Picto. And maybe that's because of sort of going to FanFest and writing news stories about it and reading about these things. Maybe I've just sort of picked up how to do it more. Picto it up, yes. But I feel like I'm doing a lot of damage and I'm really enjoying it. And I think partly I'm enjoying it because I'm just stood at the back, chilled out, just wafting my paintbrush around, and some pretty colours are sparking out, and it looks nice and it feels nice. But I feel that's also because it's the first caster I played, and I don't know if you've ever played a caster.
No, but I played Archer.
You played Summoner for a bit.
A little bit, but I played Archer, which was standing at the back doing nothing.
Well, for you, yeah.
Yeah, and then someone told me that the healer was doing more damage and that I should go and learn how to play.
Oh.
So I decided to just change jobs.
I had a duty today because I'm leveling. I'm now forced to play with other people, which I don't like.
No.
But we were doing what's the really long one at the end of Realm Reborn that everyone hates?
Oh,
there's like a million
Praetorium
cutscenes that you can't skip. Yes, I got stuck doing that one, and then randomly, like someone in our group in our party was like, "Oh, I just got stung by a wasp on my thumb."
Okay.
And they said, like, "I just got stung on my thumb." Oh, and then they said, "Don't pick up a bee with toilet paper." And I was like, "What?" And then we just carried on doing the duty, so it obviously didn't hurt that much.
Wow. I once picked
very random.
I once picked a wasp out of my hair. I told you that, didn't I? I picked it up and I didn't realize what it was, but its stinger kind of must have just grazed my thumb, and it was just like tingling for a couple of hours. There's not a single bit of pain at all. It just had this weird like tingling feeling, as though like there was a weird reaction. But luckily,
anyway.
I've never been touch wood, never been stung by a bee or a wasp. That's the
Let's
closest
keep
I
it that
got.
way. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, because I'm like, if I touched one and it was tingling, am I actually like really allergic? And if one stings, I might
Well, exactly.
die
You
immediately.
don't want to risk that.
No.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm enjoying standing at the back basically because I've not done that. I've been Dragoon, I've been
I did see
White
somebody.
Mage, but obviously that's healing, and then Reaper. So this is the first DPS standing at the back, and it does feel a lot more relaxed. But also, I feel like I actually know what I'm doing this time.
I did see somebody post that they were doing a duty with somebody, and I think they were like level 90, and the tank accidentally desynthesized their weapon. So
How did?
and then had to just
how?
continue with like a level 70 weapon,
Oh dear.
which made me laugh.
Oh dear.
The thing is, like, my inventory is full of like the last 8 weapons that I've been given. So even if I did desynthesize the one I've got, I don't know what they were trying to do. Maybe like they were trying to remove the materia from it or something.
Maybe.
But yeah, I would probably have one that's like 1 or 2 levels below at the very least.
Yeah.
Because I hoard all my weapons. I don't know what you're meant to do with them. Because you get like level 79 weapon, then you get a level 80 weapon. And I'm like, well, what do I do with my 79? Do I sell it? Do I put it on the market board? Do I desynthesize if that gives me some items or what?
So I generally wait till everything's full and then go, oh shit, what do I do? And then just panic sell everything. And I don't
Yeah.
even need the money, but I just want the space in the inventory. And maybe that's a bad thing. I guess with like armors, it's a case of, do you want to glamour with it? Or will that be useful for a different job of the same type? Maybe.
Yeah, I've tried to put everything on the glamour. And actually, every time I seem to look at it, they expand the glamour dresser so you can have more. If for those of you who don't play Final Fantasy 14, there's a glamour dresser or whatever, and you put any items that you don't really want to wear anymore, but you think that they look great. You can kind of turn them into a glamour, an outfit, or you can put it into the wardrobe, let's say, and you can't use it then again unless you spend something as like armor, but you can have it there available as an outfit that you can put on, like as glamour.
And that's the real end game of 14, I think.
Well, it's just me because I was like, I don't know what to sell it, and I don't know what to do that. I don't know what to do that, and then I just shoved everything in the glamour, and then it was full.
Well, if anyone has ideas, then let us know. I think also, relatedly, when you switch between jobs, you obviously then need entirely new gear. And so that then fills up your armory chest really quickly. So it's like, if you want to play as multiple jobs, how do you deal with your inventory? Because I'm already struggling.
Especially those people. Well, they probably give it to the... Apparently you can put it on a chocobo. Apparently you can summon a chocobo to help you. Which I never did.
Yeah, I've never bothered with the chocobo.
No. There are probably people talking, listening to this just with their heads in their hands.
Probably, yeah.
Like I was talking to our hairdresser and... what did I say? He was like, if I level up, I just go and do a hunt. And I'm like, the hunting log. And he's like, no, hunts. I'm like, I have no idea what they are.
Someone at the Dawn Trail preview was talking to me about that, and apparently there's an entire Monster Hunter thing, and I'm like, what the hell? Which I think is different to hunts, but yeah, there is so much in this game. It is ridiculous, and all I've done is the main story. But I'm just very happy that I'm finally at the point of starting Dawn Trail once I've leveled my Picto, which I'm really enjoying. So I'm even more now looking forward to playing Dawn Trail. So that is my Final Fantasy news for the week.
Yes, great. Well, I'm glad you're giving us an update all the time.
You're welcome.
Are you going to stand up for us?
No, I'm not.
Why not?
Well, I'm in shorts, but they're short shorts.
Very, very short shorts.
And I'm sat on a towel because it's hot.
And you get a little excited.
No, it's a horrible I've said this enough times. It's a horrible faux leather chair that gets very sticky when it's hot.
You don't want to slip out?
No.
Okay, well, I can see something slipping out.
Oh, you pipe down. There is nothing going on. Thank you very much. Anyway, there is another game that I have been playing this week,
yes,
which I'm actually really obsessed with.
Go on, tell us about it as a game.
And what accent was that?
Austrian.
Of course it was. Well, yes, I have been playing Dungeons of Hinterberg, which is out today. Or today as we record.
Yesterday. No, it's obviously Friday today.
Of course,
it's out yesterday.
It was out yesterday. It's on Game Pass on Xbox. It's also on Steam. And it's a game we've talked about before. I played it last year at Gamescom. You played the demo recently for Steam Next Fest.
Yes, it was.
Yep. So that's quite recent. So that was on stream. It is basically Austrian Zelda meets Persona. and it's very good.
Feels like it's got a lot more speed than Zelda.
Speed.
Yeah, it's very fast. Like you're darting around.
I wouldn't
Zelda
say
feels
that
a little
much.
bit more like I'm off to the cave to slash things, whereas Dungeons of Hinterberg is like you've got a freaking skateboard or whatever to grind on. And
Well,
have you not got it yet?
well,
Oh,
we'll get there. So basically, you explore dungeons, and there are I think 25 dungeons in total. They are a bit like Zelda shrines, so they're sort of self-contained levels. And some are a bit more puzzly than others. Some are a bit more combat-y than others. And there are however many in each region. And I think there are 4 regions that you can go around. And you get magic abilities as well. But those abilities are specific to that region. So the skateboardy thing that you used in the demo is in an area that I haven't done yet. So the first area, you get sort of 2 types of spiky ball. You get a big one that explodes like a bomb, and you get a little one that's a bit like a hook shot, and you can pull it back to sort of chain onto things. And I think every magic type you get a main one and a sort of ranged one as well, and you can use it in combat. So you go and explore these dungeons, and it's really cool. But then it throws in Persona. So your time is structured as days. And during the daytime, you go and explore. And you don't have to do a dungeon. You can just explore for the day. Or you do a dungeon and you can do one a day. Basically, once you've done the
Very
dungeon,
Persona.
your day ends. Then you have your evening time where you can spend time with
Drinking.
the townsfolk of Hinterberg.
Can you drink some
Fraulein.
grog? Or is that more Danish?
Grog?
Yeah.
You're thinking of glug.
Glug, yeah. Us pirates. What's grog?
That's like crap.
Grog.
Yeah, that's like horrible drink.
Oh.
Glug is like...
Grog is an alcoholic... No, I'm right.
Are you?
Grog is a term used for a variety of alcoholic beverages. Modern usage. Modern versions of the drink are often made with hot or boiling water and sometimes include lemon. Oh, so this is grog that I've got here to treat my cold. Lime juice, cinnamon, or sugar to add flavour. Apple cider is sometimes substituted for water. Where is it popular? In Sweden, it's a common description of drinks not made to a recipe. So there you go. I was right.
Sure. Can you go drinking? I think you can. There is a pub, but I haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
There is a kino.
Oh, it can
There's a
also
cinema.
be a metaphoric term for a person's vices. All for me, grog.
Oh, okay.
And it comes from groggy.
There you go. Anyway, you spend time with the townsfolk, and again, you can sort of have like one date over an evening.
You can date people.
Well, I say date, it's like friendships. Well, I think.
Don't know what they're
I
like.
don't know. Yeah, who knows? I don't know if there are relationships actually. And
Is there a sex scene?
I haven't got to one yet.
Do you
and
have
I
your
highly
own?
doubt it.
Do you have your own dungeon? Sex Dungeons of Hinterberg. That's the DLC.
No, that's absolutely not a thing. Basically, the more you get to know people, they give you perks and extra abilities and things like that. But in order to spend time with them, you have to have leveled up your social stats. So again, it's very Persona, but it's very simple and very easy to understand. And then you sleep and you go to the next day. So it's all very structured. And yeah, so it's got like Zelda puzzles and a bit of Persona-y relationship building. And it's all presented in this really lovely graphic novel kind of style, all cel-shaded. It has amazing music, which is kind of very relaxing electronica.
Yeah.
Which also sort of reminds me a bit of Citizen Sleeper in a way. And maybe not what you would expect from a game set in the Alps. You maybe wouldn't
Have you not seen the Austrian entry for Eurovision? That was proper dance music.
Oh, that was a proper rave.
Yeah.
We will rave. But this is very like relaxing, chilled electronica. But that also just fits with the whole vibe of the game. And this is what I really love about it that I wasn't expecting at all, because I didn't really know much about the story. And the basics of the story are you are a woman called Louisa, and she is a lawyer, but she is suffering from burnout, and she needs to get away from her day job, from her life, And so she goes into the Alps to Hinterberg. And it's this town where magic exists, which has caused these dungeons to come up. But it's not that you are out to save the world from the Demon King and save the princess and all this stuff. It's literally you're there for a holiday.
And have you ever?
It's just,
can you relate at all?
yes, it's just super chilled. Like it's just her finding herself on a holiday in the Alps. You have moments where, as I said, during the day, you don't have to do a dungeon. You can go to a scenic spot and you can just sit and you get a nice little cutscene and it improves her like happiness or whatever, or relaxation. And then you go to the evenings. And she has all these like philosophical musings, which I took some screenshots of, which I feel very seen.
Yeah, when I was reading
very
those,
seen
I was like,
by
oh.
this game.
Yeah.
Like the opening cutscene, she literally says, "Long days at the office, bleeding into one another. Short weekends spent on the couch, doing nothing but recovering from work stress. I just needed something different. Do you ever feel like you're always just doing the smart thing and it's been getting you nowhere?
Yeah.
I feel like I've kept delaying every liberty other people take in their 20s to focus on getting ahead." And the one that really got me, "Why do I always feel my time is only worth something if it results in tangible progress?"
Oh, tell me about it. And I'm like, let's just chill today. And you're like, no, I cannot possibly chill.
I must achieve something all the time.
Yeah, it'll be literally Saturday morning and you're like, oh, I'm going to get up now. And I'm like, it's 8:30 in the morning, Ed, and you are tired because you went to bed at 3. Why are you getting up at
Because I can't lazily sit in bed. I have to do something.
I would quite happily just stick like 3 podcasts on, nice murder podcast, drift in and out, so I don't really know what's going on.
I can't drift. Once I've opened my eyes and I've got up and I've had my morning poo, I'm awake.
You need to start smoking weed.
No. Once I'm up, and I won't go back to sleep. So I'm like, I might as well do something rather than just lying in bed staring at the wall. Like, that's pointless.
Well, whatever you get up to when you get up, I don't know, but you...
I play video games and make myself a nice cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm. You do.
Yeah. Anyway, this game is therefore, it's kind of all about finding yourself. And there's also a lot about authenticity, which I think is really interesting. Because it's a holiday and it's about tourism, but it's also about tourists coming to this little town and sort of semi-ruining it and getting in the way. And what is the authentic culture of this town? And I sort of like that because it's a game set in Austria, and Moni, our mod, will, I'm sure, approve.
Tourists.
There's a lot. She does hate tourists, including us going to visit. There are all these little touches of Austrian culture. It's kind of a love letter to Austria and to the Alps, this game. So it feels like it's authentic, but then that sort of ties into the story of sort of how authentic can this place be if it's full of tourists. So it's basically the story of it is just not what I expected it to be, but I love that it's so different, that it's this Zelda-y game with these dungeons and combat against these little weird mythical creatures and solving puzzles, but you're also not saving the world, which is a really refreshing change.
Or maybe it's like a JRPG and like later on you fight God at the end.
I mean, maybe there's a reason that these dungeons have popped up and maybe you find out later. Yeah. I'm not far enough in yet. But the dungeons themselves are also really creative. They're like little self-contained levels, but they really change up kind of what you do and your perspective. So I had one that suddenly went all 2D. I had one that went top down and went isometric. The first few are all sort of mine themed with like mine carts, and each one sort of has like a thing, like a premise that everything focuses around for that one dungeon, and then the next one is something entirely different. So it feels like there's a lot of creativity in there, which I really enjoy. So yeah, I'm having a great time. Genuinely, this is one of the best games I've played this year, I would say.
Bloody hell.
I'm really, really enjoying it. I think it's at times a little rough around the edges, just it is an indie game and it's not perfect, but I just really like the ideas. I really like the sentiment of it. It just has this really lovely chilled vibe, and it's just it's ticking all the boxes for me.
Yeah, and I've just got it on Steam, so I'm just quickly looking to see if it's available or if it's it's verified on Steam Deck, so perfect.
Nice.
Seems like a really good game for that as well.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, it seems all right, but like Zelda's never really appealed to me apart from, I mean, obviously the new Zeldas have because they're kind of appealing to everybody, but like old school Zeldas that are kind of focused on dungeons and that, and Tunic, that kind of thing, I've never been a fan of really, or I've never really got into. But
Yeah,
this one I played a bit and I was like, oh, I really enjoy it. I love the controls. I love the colors. I love the music. And also I just love the vibe.
it's more like modern Zelda than old ones, I'd say.
Yeah.
In the sense that you have these 4 regions, which are sort of open, but not everywhere is open. So it sort of funnels you towards.
Do you think it's a bit like Phoenix Rising?
I didn't play that, so no.
Oh, you need to.
But it's not. They're not open worlds, but they're sort of. I mean, you can explore, but they're quite small. And then the dungeons you go into, it's literally a portal that takes you to a dungeon, so it feels like a shrine.
Yeah.
So it's a lot less like old school Zelda, where here's a massive temple to explore. It's much more like modern Zelda with shrines and just exploring shrines around the world.
Nice.
It's just really, really well done. I would thoroughly recommend it to everyone watching and listening.
It's got Ed's seal of approval.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
I'm like maybe a quarter through it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 25 dungeons. So actually, maybe I'm a fifth then because I've done about 5. So I'm not that far. I will keep playing it over the next week, but it is brilliant. And if you're looking for something to play, a nice action adventure game, then definitely give it a go.
Nice. Good. And what did you think to Gestalt, Steam and Cinder? Because you've been playing that a little bit.
I have. That. I mean, speaking of Steam Deck, that works really nicely on the Steam Deck. Yeah,
Gestalt,
Steam and Cinder, which, funny enough, is a steampunk game. Who would have thought? It's funny. I feel like they've sort of advertised it, or maybe the tags on it, I can't remember, are
The tags,
Metroidvania.
Yeah, Metroidvania.
And I feel like that's
indie side scroller 2D platformer.
I feel like Metroidvania is very loose because it's not. It's not a traditional. It's not what I would call a Metroidvania. It has some elements of it in that you do get new abilities, and it is a sort of continuous world. It's 2D. It's pixel art, and you can teleport around it at any point. But it's very linear in terms of your progression, and you go to each region following the story. So it's not like a Metroid game is, here's a big world, and you do often have a certain route through it, but it's up to you to find out where to go. This is very directed, I would say. So it doesn't really feel like a Metroidvania, if I'm honest. That's not to say it's not good. I've enjoyed playing it a lot. It's just I was expecting a Metroidvania, and that's not really what it is. It's more just a 2D adventure game. It is also a lot more story-driven than Metroidvanias typically. And the story is honestly a little bit lost on me. There are a lot of, especially at the start, a lot of cutscenes with some really lovely pixel art. The pixel art is one of the best things about it. It's really detailed, really lovely. But the story is a little bit lost on me. There's like a demon world and a world of steam, and you're one person, and there are people that I thought I was with, but actually it seems like I'm against them. And there are loads of different characters, and it's very confusing who is against who. So I'm a bit lost on the story, I'll be honest. But in terms of gameplay, it's nice. You go around, the combat feels really nice. You have a sword, and once you have done enough hits with that, you get a bullet for your gun, and then you can shoot your gun. And it's all kind of Tesla electric, steampunky kind of stuff, which is cool. And there's this sort of grid, I guess, of nodes, and you level up and you choose a bit like the sphere grid.
Sphere grid,
a
this
bit
sounds
like 10.
great.
And you sort of work your way along the nodes in order to level up and gain new abilities. So yeah, combat exploration it feels really good. Runs really nicely on the Steam Deck, so it's a really nice little Steam Deck game. Yeah, I'm having a good time with it. Also, there are hidden corgis around the world to find.
That's
So
quite
that's
something.
instantly a plus from me
I bet.
because I like corgis.
For some reason. Because
Uh,
they're posh and associated with royalty.
no, it's because they're cute.
Yeah, they're just like fluffy sausage dogs with big ears.
Well, I also like sausage dogs, so there you go.
Right.
But yeah, Gestalt is out this week, so that is also quite a fun one to play. Yeah, if you're looking for a Metroidvania, maybe not, but if you want a sort of old school sort of pixel art adventure, especially to play handheld, then it's definitely worth thinking about and picking up.
Wunderbar.
What have you been playing, man?
I have been playing a lot of Ghost of Tsushima. and I
Tsushima, I think it is.
yeah, so I've already finished the game. I had done, I think I mentioned this last time. So I'd done all the main story and I'd kind of like missed a bit. And then I'd started kind of clearing the map. And I finished the map. I completed it. I got the platinum. I did all the side missions, all of the tales, all of the mystic quests,
And did you enjoy
all of
that?
the fox hunting, all of the bamboo strikes, all of the shrines, all of the haikus,
The naked swimming,
the naked
and
swimming.
the poems.
I did everything, and it is a beautiful game. It really is. It's stunning. Like I still take loads of screenshots, even though I'm like I'm not going to use them, but I have to because it just looks really really pretty. And I like the main. I don't know because I wasn't playing the main story, so I wasn't getting like a big beefy tale. I was just getting kind of the side missions that had been given. They were okay, but I just felt like I wasn't really falling in love with any of the characters. They weren't really very exciting, and like my character is just really really serious and hasn't got a funny bone in his body, and is just it's just way too kind of humorless for my liking, and
Mhm.
that might be I know that's the vibe that they're going for, but I don't know. I just even in like Assassin's Creed, like another. I mean, I'm not going to compare it to Red Dead Redemption 2 again because obviously that it stands out completely. So you still haven't played, have you?
No, I have no interest in it, if I'm honest.
Assassin's. I don't understand why. I think you need to play the first one.
I've played the first one. I
When
quite
you-
liked it, but
you-
I'm just not fussed by a detailed cowboy sim.
I thought you loved cowboy films.
I like Brokeback Mountain. That is my limit.
I'm sure that's in it at some point.
Well,
It's a really-
I'm sure there's a really bad gay joke in there somewhere.
Well, Red Dead Redemption 2
Um,
has got some. I don't know. I'm going to probably do another playthrough of that at some point because I just love it. But you can watch me.
Sure. All I know about it is that it's incredibly detailed and it looks pretty, but is also it looks to me a bit boring. And there are horse balls.
There are horse balls and it can poo.
Hmm.
So I was like they've got a lot of humor. Even Assassin's Creed Valhalla, despite also being very very long and kind of a bit bloated, is still a very entertaining and has got like bits of humor and some fun stuff that you do in there. Whereas this, a lot of it seemed quite similar. It was just go here, do like the fox, follow the fox, or like the side missions just involved going and killing the Mongols, or going and I find it usually just involved that killing people. So there were a couple of missions that I did find a little bit more entertaining. Like there was one where you had to sneak into a camp and you had to kill these 3 people, but you couldn't alert or kill any of the guards, which I thought was quite fun, something a little bit different. But like just going through it, it was just very much kind of like something to play while I was sitting back on the sofa, had other things going on. Sometimes I didn't even have the sound on; I just had the subtitles on, and just kind of
No sound.
slowly cleared the map. And I was happy. Like when it finished, it felt great. I got the platinum, and yeah, not bad. And then today, was it today or yesterday? I went over to Iki Island, which
The
is the
DLC.
DLC, and that is 10 times better. The story is really interesting. There are characters in there.
What's the story about? Because I played the DLC because obviously it originally came out on PS4 and then they released it on PS5, but they included the DLC as part of that. And I played all of that, but I cannot remember it at all. It was a few years ago.
Oh, it's all about your dad. Because you go back, that's where your dad died. Spoiler alert.
Oh.
And you kind of revisit that, and you are going there to kind of like discover. Well, some people come over onto the mainland of Tsushima from there, and they're all a bit like they're all a little supernatural or a bit kind of off the faces. So we went there to make sure that we can go and work out what's going on there, so that it doesn't overwhelm the whole country or the whole Tsushima, and then maybe more. So you get there, and yeah, you have obviously a few flashbacks that your dad was killed there, and at the very start of it, you get poisoned by a woman there, and
It's just slowly ringing bells.
yeah, and it reminds me a bit of like, is it Far Cry? don't know if it's like Far Cry 3, where you get kind of psychedelic moments.
Mm-hmm.
So you're playing through it, and then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, all these psychedelic moments. But it doesn't feel supernatural. Because I was saying this to you, and you were like, oh no, I love it when it goes all weird and supernatural. I'm like, no, this is a kind of like Japan simulator from this particular time period. I don't want anything weird and supernatural because that just doesn't make sense. It's like Assassin's Creed. I don't like the when that becomes all weird and in the
gods,
the Matrix, or in the gods especially. Like, no, I'm here to like see what it was like at that time in the past. I much prefer realistic things. But then actually I realized that the psychedelic moments were not really like out there. It's your brain saying stuff. So everything that somebody was saying to him in these psychedelic flashback things, well, they're not flashbacks, but ever these psychedelic moments, all of the things that this person was telling him was actually him telling himself that. So you could tell that all these, like, oh, he's going to lead you into a trap. Oh, he's.
It sounds like Hellblade.
Maybe a little bit like that. Maybe he's got a bit of psychosis. But when you're going into a new place with a character, they're like, there's like it goes all dark and purple, and then there's a person's like, he's leading you into a trap. Don't go there. And you're like, oh, actually, that's his thoughts,
his inner voice.
his inner voice.
Yeah.
And it's got a really kind of satisfying ending to the story as well. And it kind of puts his kind of the past to bed, let's say, and like the island itself is very beautiful. It's got some new extra. It's got quite a few extra bits. Like there are lots of kind of the small side things like the bamboo cutting and the haikus are there. Like those are there. There aren't many at all, but they've also added some new things, including ones where it's like flashbacks, and the flashbacks are like from moments in your childhood with your dad. So like the whole DLC is very much your father, and growing up as a kid on that island with your father, who was known as the Butcher. And yeah, like those side bits are enjoyable. They're a bit more fleshed out. Your horse has got like a new power; it can kind of charge people down, and you've got and he also gave me a really cool piece of armor. So this was part. Was it part of it? I don't know if it was side quest or if it was the main quest. I think it was a side quest. I got this armor that's really cool where you can't parry. You can only perfect parry. And if you perfect parry, you can then do like 3 uninterrupted strikes on people. And I equipped that, and it made it a little bit more challenging because you had to get a perfect parry in. But then it made you really OP. And so I was getting these perfect parries and destroying people quite well. And that added a little bit more excitement to the slash, slash.
More like being a samurai.
Yeah, and it just because that's one thing I feel like I've had a bit of an issue with is just that it's slash 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 slash. Like there's no locking on to enemies or anything like that. It's just kind of get near somebody and slash slash slash, and you change your stance to break people. And now a second I see somebody, I can see that what kind of enemy they are, and so I can adjust my stance, and then I can smash them. So if they've got a spear, it's R2 and triangle because triangle looks like a spear. If they've got a shield, it's R2 and circle because that circle is like a shield. And then the X is like just 2 swords attacking you. So yeah, it's cool like that. And there was actually a boss fight in it where they kept changing the weapon that they were using, whether it was a shield or it was 2 weapons or whether it was a pole. So you had to kind of change during the duel, which was really cool. And there's also like a side mission where you're fighting in a pit, which has some quite interesting story to it as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed what I've done so far in the side content. There's a lot of so I went and just went through the main missions because I was like, I'll go through the main missions and then I'll go and explore afterwards. And I remember doing a bit and I wasn't quite sure how long I had left. I was like, okay, I wonder how far into it I am. And then I looked and I'm like, oh, the next mission's the last one. So
okay.
it was very, very, very short.
short.
Oh yeah, like 2 or 3 hours
okay.
or 4 hours maybe it took. And one of the missions, it's really short. It doesn't overstay its welcome in the slightest. In fact, so there's one bit where it's like, oh, if this person finds out who you are, I'm going to be dead and you're going to be dead. She cannot find out who you are. This is going to be the worst thing ever. Like I've discovered who you are, and now I'm gonna, obviously know who your father is. And now, if the leader here finds out who you are, then we're both dead. And then like the start of the next mission, she speaks to you slightly differently, and then you go, "Oh, so did he tell you who I am?" And she's like, "Yes, but we will continue." And I was like, "Oh." So like off camera, off the story,
Okay.
she finds out all of this, which cool. I mean, they could have fleshed that out into like 5 missions of her
It
not
was
being
a
able
DLC.
to. Yes, no, and I appreciate them doing it like this because I don't want 5 stories or like 5 missions where, she finds out who you are and then she's about tries to kill you and then you have to defend yourself and then you leave her for a bit and then you come back and you have to prove yourself again and then she trusts you. It's like, no, okay, no, I understand. So there's not a lot of filler content in the missions, literally like about 7 missions and you can do them all in 20, 30 minutes. And like the missions that you do, there's a lot more kind of like big battle scenes, which are quite enjoyable. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'll stick around maybe a little bit more, or I'll just like have it as the game that I kind of shove on for 15 minutes if I want to go and clear a couple of question marks on the map. And yeah, and there's an archery challenge as well, another thing that they've added. So there's quite a bit they've added with the DLC to keep it fresh. And I think I'd have really enjoyed it if I'd played the original and like platinumed it ages ago and then the DLC came out. I might have enjoyed it a little bit more. But the DLC has made me enjoy it. It's made me enjoy it a lot more than just the base game because the characters are much better, the story's more entertaining, and there's a lot more extra stuff you can do.
Nice.
Bit of variety. There's not like 28 fox dens. In fact, I don't think there are any fox dens.
Good.
Yeah, but I played one more game.
And what was that?
I played a game called The Exit 8.
Oh, yeah.
And it is I was told that it was a walking simulator set in a Japanese subway station. And it was and it's also a little bit, and your purpose is to try and leave it. So I was like, okay, that sounds a bit creepy. And yes, it is. It's pretty much it's based on a specific metro station, although I don't know how it can be based because it's literally just a corridor.
Yeah.
A very white tiled corridor that you go, and so you keep going forward and you need to get to exit 8. So you start at exit 0, like where there's a 0 arrow, and you turn the corner and you go down the corridor. And as you go down the corridor, there are some posters on the left, 2 doors on the right, and a light, and then there's a man walking towards you.
The way you're listing this off, because I know that you've memorized.
Oh, yes. And you go down to the end, and that's it. And then you go and turn the corner again, and it's the same corridor. However,
or is it?
Well, if it is identical and there are no differences from the 0 one, from the very first corridor, you keep going, and you'll go, and it'll come up as exit 1. However, if there's a slight anomaly or a difference in it, you have to turn around and continue. And the way that it works is if you turn around and continue, you'll still end up walking along the corridor, but from the other side. So it doesn't make sense too well, but like you can continue playing the game if you just walk in the other direction as well, because you end up turning a corner and then the corridor continues. But if you do see an anomaly, yeah, you turn around and keep going, and then the exit will go up again. But if you don't notice it, you reset back to 0. And it sounds like a really cool puzzle game, and that's the bit that I really love about it. I like that it's it's a puzzle game that you have to kind of spot an anomaly.
It's glorified spot the difference.
It is a very glorified spot the difference, but some of the anomalies are really very obvious, sometimes incredibly creepy and scary, and sometimes really, really like not obvious at all. Like there'll be one where there was a really, really faint stain on the ceiling in one panel, and as I walked past and looked at it, it looked a bit like a face, so it was quite creepy. But yeah, you turn around immediately.
Yeah.
And then there was one time I was going, like all the posters were slowly growing, which was weird. And then another one was like a big river of water, like red water, so probably like blood, comes round the corner and starts going.
I think it was blood, Ben.
Okay, well, it was very pale.
Red water.
Well, it didn't look deep blood. It looked very like blood in water. But anyway, that came around, so I turned around and ran in the opposite direction. And there was one where the person that's walking towards you is about like twice the size he is. So there were some really creepy ones. The scariest bit was when you jumped behind me, and as I was,
You're welcome.
Because there's no music and it's very quiet. I just turned the corner and then you came up behind me, made me jump, and my heart rate went from 75 to 105.
You're welcome.
No, you're not forgiven. But apparently
I'm
there's
just
another one
helping you
that's...
to entertain the viewers.
Somebody told me that there's another one that's very scary, like a jump scare. So I'm glad I didn't get that. And there's one where the man's walking towards you with like a big smile, which is also very creepy.
Hmm.
But yeah, I finished it in like 50 minutes. Someone said 40. So obviously there were a few times where I wasn't really paying attention, but people in the chat were going like, look, the door's open, or something a bit creepy. But yeah, it's really, really cheap, and I actually really enjoyed it. But it is, don't spend more than like £2 or £3 on it, because it's
I guess
not
once
even
you've
an hour.
played it, you've played it.
Yeah.
Right? There's no reason to go back to it.
Although I think if you finish it very quickly, you can like keep redoing it so that there are so you can get all of the anomalies. Because someone said that, I think came up and said that I had like I had 3 or 4 anomalies that I hadn't experienced. And it's £3.39, and that's full price, so it's probably a bit cheaper. Wait a minute, there is a sequel. Oh, the sequel's been out for a while. Platform. Wait.
Since May.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, called Platform 8. Well, I guess I better try that out.
Ooh.
Oh, well, and it's deck verified. I wouldn't play that on the deck. But that's...
Do it on Steam, on stream.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a stream game. But you're trapped on a train that runs forever. Keep an eye out for anomalies and find a way out. Please be aware of any train anomalies. It's a short walking simulator inspired by Japanese subways and liminal spaces. Playtime, 15 to 60 minutes. I love it. It's like, yeah, if you're good at it, you can get out in 15 minutes. If you're not, you're there for an hour. Because obviously, like, once you've seen an anomaly, you know what to look out for. So in future, if you do see that anomaly, you can spot it and turn around. But
nice.
Well, there you go. That's what I've been playing. Nothing else really. So should we go into the news?
Let's find out what people have been playing.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
We should do
I'm the worst at.
You always remember. Don't remember this.
Mm-hmm.
We've had quite a few as well, which is
good.
Lovely.
Yes, because sometimes the question gets posted and like for a few hours there aren't any, and I'm like, oh no, we're not gonna have any. But I appreciate it.
People come through. We love it when that happens. Sret says, I've just recently picked up Dave the Diver, and it's got me hooked. See what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the different aspects of the game. There's so much to do. I died in the ocean for the first time last night and just turned the switch off and pushed it away from myself. So future Amanda still has to deal with that before I can get back into it. It's so cute and quirky, and the little cutscenes are adorable. That pixelated art style has always been one of my favorites. I feel really drawn to them.
I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah, I enjoyed what I played. I just couldn't be bothered to finish it.
If you want any recommendations, which you don't, go and just like stick to the story, because they'll give you like a load of other things that you can do. Like you can kind of build up your restaurant, or you can build like an aquarium, or you can start farming, and there's all these other things. And it's like, yeah, a mile wide and an inch deep. You don't need to, there's not really any need to do that. And I don't think you get any really great rewards from doing it. So just stick to the main story, because it's long enough. It's like 20, 30 hours.
Madam Nee says, my obsession this week has been the Dune Imperium digital version. It's a really tightly designed board game that captures the cutthroat world of Arrakis well, incorporating elements of deck drafting, worker placement, and resource management. Strongly recommend, and I'll be looking for a physical copy soon. Clue says, I just rolled credits for Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail. In terms of story, it's still far above what other MMORPGs gives, but with Final Fantasy XIV, it is perhaps a 6.5 out of 10 at best.
I like that Clues gives numbers.
As it is the first episode of a second season, it is understandably slower and less punchier than the previous expansion. That said, sadly, 14 doesn't do as well as WoW in terms of pure exploration, which is supposed to be a theme of the expansion.
Nice.
And then there are some mild spoilers, which
So we
I will
won't.
not
Please
say.
never.
But thank you for thank you for saying mild spoilers, so we don't just read it. Although I have read it and it's fine.
Yeah.
Because there's a note for me in it, and noted is what I'll say to that.
Oh.
Chaddy says, after being away for over a week, I have come back to playing a bit of Minecraft on the biggest server and seeing what's been built since I've been gone. Everyone is so creative. I've also jumped back into Elden Ring and mopped up some bosses I missed. Most are really easy now, as I'm way over leveled for them. I did beat Melania though, which I was very proud of. I'm now deciding whether to continue and get the DLC or jump into another game entirely. Really need to dedicate some time to BG3. is in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, go for Baldur's Gate 3.
I'd say do the DLC.
No, of
If
course you
if you're in the zone, you might as well just carry on.
No, I'm not going to be doing the DLC for a while.
Fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get into the zone of a game, and I feel like if I step away, I find it really hard to get back to
No,
it.
I like finding a moment. Like I love it when like Baldur's Gate 3, I love that it's in different acts. So that I can then, after one act, I can be like, right, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go play something else.
Yeah, see, I fear that I won't get back to it if I do that.
I mean, it's been a while since I've gone back to it, but I
It's
will
been a while
do.
since I played it at all.
Yeah. I need to work out what I do after Elden Ring, whether I go back to Baldur's Gate 3
No.
or Zelda.
Yes, you're doing Zelda.
Well, I will decide myself. You're my manager.
Well, you're further along in Zelda, so I'd say you can tick it off more easily.
But then I could also do Baldur's Gate 3 Act 2, and then once I finish Act 2, go and do Zelda.
I want to hear your thoughts on Zelda.
I also need to do 7 Rebirth.
You do. There's just a lot of games.
Long games as well.
Yes, this year especially. Anvilator says, I've been playing Diablo 4 for now since it is brainless fun. Agree with that. Been doing mainly Hell Tides, but really should be doing Nightmare Dungeons. I wish they had more classes by now since it's been a year since launch. Also would agree with that. They need another class to like give you something different to play as.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. Cadmus says, I've been playing Crusader Kings 3 with my significant other, and it is extremely fun. Conquering neighbouring duchies together, starting in Northumbria and Mercia, is like reliving another life where we're tyrannical couple goals, and I love it.
Oh, that's a game I tried like 3-4 times, and I didn't understand it.
I can't get my head around it at all.
Yeah, so
I'm impressed by people who can.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in it, but yeah, I'm very impressed. Because it's like, go to war, you've got a 97% chance of winning, and then I do it, and I'm like, and it's like, you've retreated and lost. I'm like, oh, did I? I didn't know what I was meant to do.
Plus, getting to point and laugh at each other when either one of us contracts the latest plague is great sadistic fun.
Nice.
Yeah. And Divercat says, a friend invited me to play Power Wash Simulator on his stream, and we had a blast, pun intended. It was really a lot of fun. I've played before, but this time I got more into actually thinking about the different equipment and things to make the cleaning more efficient. Now I've been playing it alone and enjoying the relaxing nature of it. Fresh Start is another good game for relaxing while cleaning stuff that I really enjoyed playing. Nice.
I also played Stilt Fella, didn't I?
What?
Stilt Fella.
Oh God, yeah, you did.
I won't talk about that, but it's a game where you're just a person on stilts and you have to get to the finish line, and it's very fun.
Because, of course.
Yeah, it's goofy. All right, we're going in the news.
Let's talk about some of the news. Now, as I said, it's been a little bit quiet, but I've got some fun ones for you.
Great. Can we pause for a sec while I get a drink?
Yes.
And we're back with water now. Oh, needed that.
It is hot in here.
So take off. Oh, you pretty much already have.
Honestly, I'm wearing shorts.
They're getting higher and higher each time.
Ooh.
Swing it to a thong. So tell us what's in the news.
Right. First off, some news about Fallout, which I know you don't care about.
Is it the London one?
It is. So
should do Barnsley.
Fallout London, which is being made as a mod by a group of, I guess,
hackers,
developers.
Yeah.
Not hackers, developers. And it's a mod for Fallout 4, but it's basically setting it in a kind of alternate London. And to be honest, they've done an incredible job of it, and it actually looks really, really cool. But they have some very, very cool voice actors in it.
Yes, I know one of them.
So,
is this the news that you said I'd be excited about?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
So, Neil Newbon is in it, and he is a star in Baldur's Gate 3, amongst other things.
Oh, bless you.
Sorry. It's also got Anna Dimitriou, who plays Sophia in A Plague Tale Requiem. It has 2 Doctor Who actors, Sylvester McCoy and Colin Baker. So they're all voicing different characters in this mod. So the fact that it's just a mod, but they've got all these people, is really impressive. Yeah. But this week, they announced another one. And that is the former Speaker of the House, John Burko, who was playing a robot Speaker of the House.
Great.
And what's he known for?
Ordering people. And bullying. People. And
do you want to explain to maybe
he's
all
the
UK or non-UK people what the Speaker of the House is?
Yeah, he's the person that sits on the chair and calls people to order. And he's actually the person that everybody in the House of Commons speaks to, because you don't speak to somebody else. You speak via the Speaker. So that's why they refer to everyone in like the third person.
That's one thing I just find really weird.
I like it. He's saying that he's doing this.
The
but
right
actually-
honourable gentleman.
Yeah, but Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Speaker.
he says this, but actually what he's really saying is this, Mr. Speaker. Yeah. It is weird that they all speak through the speaker, because he's called the speaker.
There you go.
He speaks for they get spoken to.
Yeah.
But he's cool. I think he's a bit of a controversial figure for many reasons.
Well, he's now on the Traitors US.
Well, he was
season 2. So if people watch that, they might have seen him and know who he is already.
Also, his I don't know if he's still. I think it's still his wife, Sally Burko. She had to pay a lot of money because she defamed somebody on Twitter.
Oh,
and then she stood in a bathrobe or something in front of Houses of Parliament, or with a quilt covering her.
Lovely.
She used to follow me. I quite enjoyed her.
She used to follow you?
Yeah, on Twitter.
God.
Then she went on some social media, onto some reality TV. But anyway, he got isn't he his pass removed or something for bullying? Like he was found guilty of bullying.
I mean, he's definitely a bit controversial, but
he definitely loves himself. I'm
Oh,
sure
I
when this came, and if it had a bit of a fee to it,
I'm
or
sure.
they told him how popular it would be if he did this, I'm sure his eyes just widened.
Oh yeah. Well, the development team basically announced it in their Discord, and it had a little clip of the AI robot form of the house, Speaker of the House, which is basically him going order, and sort of it becomes very robotic and screwed up. So clearly, there's something wrong with his robot. But yeah, you'll be able to meet him in Fallout London, which is
makes me want to play it.
Well, I thought you might enjoy that. A little bit of DBD news from this week, which is a release date for the casting of Frank Stone, and that is the spin-off that's been made by the Until Dawn and the Quarry Studio Supermassive game.
Right.
Games. So yeah, it's I don't know if you've seen the trailers, but it is another sort of narrative game in that vibe, set in the 80s, with a group of kids who are making a film about a serial killer, and obviously shit goes down. And that is now coming out on the 3rd of September, on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. So yeah, if you're interested in that, that's coming out then. Also, a couple of other things that they announced recently. Lara Croft is already out. She's in the game now as a survivor. They are also releasing the 2v8 game mode on the 25th of July, which is basically 2 killers and 8 survivors. So it's a bit of a party mode. It seems quite chaotic. But that's on the 25th of July. And also they are adding cross-progression on the 22nd of July. So you can play DBD on various different platforms, and you'll be able to have cross-progression across whichever you play on, which has been a much requested feature for people. So it's all happening in July, which is nice.
Great.
So a bit of DBD stuff.
You know our audience.
I do. I know it's not for you, but I know there are listeners who are very interested in that. Speaking of horror games, there was a mysterious trailer that came up for a Switch horror game from Nintendo, which came up last week, and it was called Emio, and it was like this weird video of a guy with like a paper bag over his head, and it was all just very odd and very not Nintendo, and was sort of had a mature rating, and everyone's like, what is this? People were speculating that Bloober Team have been working with Nintendo to make a horror game, and like all these things. But they've now said what it is. And it's Emio the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club. Now, Famicom Detective Club is basically a sort of visual novel detective thing from the Famicom, funnily enough, or the NES. And I think it was... they were only out in Japan until 2021, this pair of games, where they released on the Switch. So now they are making a sequel, which is this Emio game. It's just very not Nintendo.
No.
To, like, the way that they've announced it as this sort of really freaky trailer thing. But yeah, it's a new detective game. So there we go. Pokemon-themed Crocs. Now, I know there are probably people watching and listening.
I think it's very
Who-
classist of
who
you.
really, it's not got nothing to do with class. It's to do with taste. It, a lot of people like Crocs. I do not.
Air your feet. I don't know. I've
Just-
never worn any. So
Well, I do not wish to put a Croc on my foot. It's just not for me.
no. Do you look down on people that wear Crocs?
I wouldn't say I look down on people. I would question their fashion taste.
But maybe it is fashionable. If enough people say it's fashionable, it is fashionable, right?
No, I
Right.
don't think that's how fashion works.
I have no idea. I wouldn't know, would I?
Well, anyway, Crocs are teaming up with, or have teamed up with, the Pokemon Company. And there are 4 designs. And even if you like Crocs, I still think these designs are disgusting. Like, they are so garish. Like, do you want that on your foot?
If it's just around the house, then why not?
Absolutely not. They are designed after Jigglypuff, Charizard, Gengar, and Snorlax. So 4 of the classics.
That's your birthday
And
present ruined then.
Don't you fucking dare. They are in very bright, garish colours for each one. They come with a Gibbets charm, I think they're called. A Gibbets charm.
Are they the things that you attach to the holes?
Yeah.
Right.
And they've got like Pokeballs on the side. These are $70 a pair for some rubbery jelly with a Pokemon on it.
They do very good flip flops.
I mean, I sort of dreaded making people aware of this in case people actually buy them.
There will be people that will. I guarantee there are people in the Discord that will. And you know what? Go for it. If it's comfortable for you, don't let the miser over here belittle you or look down on you.
Don't buy them, please.
Harsh.
And our last story, which is one from yesterday, is about Steam. And I just thought it was quite interesting.
Oh, God, here we go.
No,
Is it boring?
it's not boring. It's about the number of people who work at Valve, who work on Steam.
Oh, 80.
So,
Yeah, I read that.
well, there you go. So, essentially, there is a lawsuit happening with Valve and another company who are moaning that Valve have a monopoly over PC sales because of Steam, which is true, to be fair. But as a result, they have sort of had to release publicly some information about Steam. So 79 people work on Steam.
Well,
And I just think it's an interesting story because you think of Steam as, yes, this huge platform that has a monopoly over, as we said, has a monopoly over PC sales. You know, if you want a game on PC, you go to Steam. Like, it's a huge thing,
yeah.
but it's only run by 79 people.
Yeah.
The entirety of Valve is only 181. And maybe, you know, just to sort of give you some comparison,
Dead air. He's frozen.
no, sorry, I'm just reading. Sorry, it's 371 people at Valve,
Yeah.
but they make $6.5 billion a year split between those people.
Yeah.
EA makes the same amount of money a year and has 13,700 staff. And
What's
Oh,
happening
that's
here?
an-
We're getting music here.
sorry, there's an advert playing
What website?
on Eurogamer.
Oh.
Um,
Well, it's
sorry, I'm
exciting.
still reading
Numbers.
the story. Yeah, there was
it's
a
got numbers in
comparison
Ed
with.
needs like an extra 5 minutes to
I do. I
work
need
out
to
how
work
to say
out.
it. 1,334.
So Valve's 79 staff.
Yeah.
They were paid a combined $76,446,633, which means the average wage is $967,000.
Is that right though? Is that not just the profit split between them? I feel like this is not correct.
We'll blame The Verge in that case because they
Okay.
worked it out.
Right.
I think it is literally like the amount. Maybe it is profit.
I think that's I think
but-
that's them taking the profit and splitting it between the people, which is definitely not how much they're getting paid.
Well, maybe not, but
I think they'll But I mean, the money will have to go into servers, and there's loads of other stuff.
Fine, poo-poo the story then, Ben. It was an interesting story about how
I
few
just
people
don't-
work at a very big company and make a lot of money
I don't want
between
us to
them.
spread fake news. There's
It's
enough
not
of that.
fake
I
news.
just want. It's not, no. But I think, say, the average person earns £1 million.
Well, no, that's not.
But anyway, they. But if you go onto Steam, you can see, and this is the reason why it very rarely like updates, like the look and how everything's automated on there, and why some games on there you go, really? Why is that game on there? It's because no one's really checking.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben.
All
That's the
right.
headlines.
Any other headlines you want to bring
No,
up?
not anymore.
Where can we find you, Ed?
Don't.
Who's in the right mood now?
You can find me at ed_nights on Twitter and on Twitch.
Excellent. I am Biggest Bennis on Twitch and Twitter. Just type that in and you'll find me. And go to swappingjoysticks.com where you can get access to all our previous ones, all our previous videos and podcasts and anything else as well. And thank you again to Elgato for sending this camera that you can see, or that you can see the result of. This is the, let me go and show you the box, the Facecam Neo. And yeah, very kind of you for sending it to us. So thank you very much. Thanks for watching. I don't know, you're not going to do anything?
You're rounding us off.
Thank you very much for watching. Bye.
See you next time.